The birth of Jesus and the events surrounding it have inspired countless amazing artists over time, capturing the events ranging from the Annunciation to the Virgin Mary until the flight of the Holy Family to Egypt. In this video, I will illustrate all these events using 100 different paintings from art history. I'll start the story with this painting by Andrea del Verrocchio and a young student of him named Leonardo da Vinci. It's the moment that the Archangel Gabriel visited Mary to announce that she was pregnant of the Holy Spirit and that she would have to name the baby Jesus. This day is still celebrated by some at March 25, exactly 9 months before the symbolic birthday of Jesus on December 25. And while I show some more paintings of the Annunciation, like this one from 1888 by Henry Tanner, it may be good to know that the story and the paintings shown here are based on the Gospels of Matthew and Luke. They both have somewhat different events that they describe related to the birth of Jesus, and I have tried to put them in chronological order. So back to the story. While Mary received her announcement, she was engaged to Joseph, who was of royal descent. When Joseph heard about it, he was understandably not that thrilled to hear that his fiancée was pregnant without his help. But to make sure that Joseph would stick to the plan, he also received an announcement from an angel in a dream, explaining him what was about to happen. After Mary got pregnant, Luke describes the Visitation, where Mary visits her Aunt Elizabeth, who is also pregnant, of John the Baptist. This is Raphael's interpretation of this event. And I would like to take a moment to ask you that if you have any other great artworks in mind related to Christmas, to leave them in the comment section down below. Before the birth of Jesus, there is a little complication. Mary and Joseph need to travel from Nazareth, where they live, to Bethlehem. The reason is that there is a census and everybody needs to present themselves in the place where their family is from. Bruegel the Elder captured this census in a Flemish wintry landscape. It's a 90-mile trip for the pregnant Mary and Joseph. While in Bethlehem, it's time for Jesus to be born. Many artists have captured the moment just after the birth. The Gospel of Luke describes that since there was nowhere for them to stay in the town of Bethlehem, and that the infant was laid in a manger. Here is Botticelli's interpretation of events. And here are some others, often with the manger, the oxen and the donkey present, and sometimes some angels as well. One of my personal favorites is this one from the year 1404 by Conrad von Soest, showing Joseph in the foreground as a good father, providing some extra oxygen to keep the fire going. Luckily, some help and some guests were on the way soon. First, there are the shepherds in the fields nearby, who are surprised during the night by an angel announcing to them that Jesus was born nearby. It is interesting to compare how artists during different time periods captured this scene, ranging from a dramatic one to this beautiful version by Jules Bastien Lepage, to the Illuminating Angel by Carl Bloch. So the shepherds went to visit Holy Family. Some artists like Giorgione interpreted this scene as a calm one, with 2 shepherds visiting. In contrast, Matthias Stomer created a very intimate gathering with beautiful lighting. But many artists have many other people following the shepherds, creating a busy composition, like this work from around 1484 by Domenico Ghirlandaio. And while I don't mention the names and artists of all paintings that I show here, if you want to know more about a certain painting, just let me know the timestamp in the comment section down below. Among those visitors are also the Magi, wise men from the east who saw a bright star indicating to them that the King of the Jews was born. The Adoration of the Magi has been a particularly popular scene among artists because it allowed them to create a colorful, somewhat exotic scene with many people and gifts, often resulting in more dynamic scenes than the visit of the shepherds. Like this scene of Gentile da Fabriano, or this colorful scene by Hugo van der Goes from 1470. In comparison, the British artist Edward Burne-Jones created his own unique version in a more pre-Raphaelite style in 1890. Or look at this painting from 1902 by Liebenwein. I actually made a whole separate video about the Adoration of the Magi if you are interested to learn more about how artists approach this subject. So now that they received all the congratulations for the birth of Jesus, there are a few final events related to the Christmas story that are described in the Gospels of Matthew and Luke. First is the presentation of Jesus in the temple, 8 days after his birth, something that they had to do according to the law of Moses. And when they arrived in the temple, Luke mentions two special people who were in the temple to see Jesus: an old man named Simeon and an old prophetess called Anna. Here's Rembrandt capturing Simeon holding baby Jesus and singing his song of praise. And a few years before, at age 21, Rembrandt captured both Anna and Simeon praising Jesus. After all the visitors and festivities, Joseph gets a second dream, in which an angel tells him that he should take his family to Egypt to make sure that the Romans cannot kill Jesus prematurely. Here you see how some artists captured their trip to Egypt. And while I show a few more paintings on this theme, like this mystical landscape from 1609 by Adam Alzheimer, and this beautiful version from 1880 by Luc Olivier Merson, I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons and leave a comment down below with any thoughts you may have. I love reading them. And let me finish by showing you this beautiful work by William Adolphe Bouguereau called Song of the Angels. And if you see this around Christmas time, Merry Christmas to you and your families.